Namaskar, myself Sateesh, and basically I am a IT engineer by profession that I have started with, and my childhood was mostly into northern part of Karnataka, which is like a nomad's life. About every alternate year we used to move with my parent. So that's how I was born and brought up before I came to Bangalore. Bangalore, I can say relatively more Bangalorean than North Karnataka, because I was into various cities and places. So here I am for the last 22 years. So my career was about 16 years into IT. What triggered me, when it triggered me, I don't know. I don't clearly remember, but it started. And I still remember the days when the quarters were built, where my father used to work, and door frames were made. And meticulously they used to use some dowels which are made of bamboo, not the wood of today's. They used to get very good solid bamboo, and the way they used to make the frame was really consistent, and they used to use the same saws that we use, but the way they used to hone, sharp themselves, because that's the only means they had. Today whatever the tile cutter or the circular saw was a luxury. Even till if I'm not wrong, even for the last 15 years, then the industry has started adopting the power tools. That was not there. So they used to use the augers, the small ones, with this one. And before they even set the joinery, they used to make sure the socket, so that the joinery goes precisely, and they start hitting the dowels all through. And those bamboo dowels were again made out of chisel, and the way they used to make the shaving, I still remember those stuff. It's fresh in mind because I was maybe first standard or something like that. So after that they used to make it very little taper, not like the ones that usually we see here, and they were so precise. Even if you hit back, it will come out, and you can reset it. And the same kind of tech you see in olden furnitures, wherein the dowels or pins are something that really make the right assembly, not like the screws or whatever we use. So somehow that caught up in my mind, and it's still fresh in mind, and I keep doing that again and again and again, and I never get bored of it. So that's where I started. Now I would say, what is soul and life and a body, right? That's, you say, see, we hear a music that's for soul. Sometimes there is a music which just is commercial and we just enjoy it, and there is something which is just too much for us. Okay, so too much for us is something commercial, okay, and the soul and the true beauty of the music is even just a folklore. May not be with the chorus, but rather it can be a simple voice that can please you. That's where we say that's what is a passionate work, correct? That connects to you as a soul, right? So that's, I would say, something you touch, feel, which is natural, and it gives its immense beauty as you go along with it. More you see, even a dull wood, is not dull in its form, but rather it brings out its beauty either as a functional piece of item. That's very soulful, that you will feel when you start working with it and you see what you want to go about it. So as a passion, if you say, it's more of art that connects to you, and there you are free to express yourself. Whereas in the commercial business, you are running and doing something for others' requirement, and it's still a good thing, and you still have a way to express yourself, and people accept that as well, but you are restricted in a framework. That's where the business and economics and your very survival, because you have to live with it. And very few lucky ones are those artists who really establish themselves and truly live their passion. So it's tricky. There is a thin line between, I would say it's just a thin line between both. Most of the work was personal. So I was doing all along for the home, anything like sitting things, kitchen items, and including kuch bhi toot jata hai, so it's a kind of handyman, right? But still I would say most of my projects started from home, and started with recycled cabinetry for my spouse, and it just kicked off. Like my owner wanted one where I was living and I was off and I was doing. He said मेरे लिए एक झूला बना दो, तो वो हो गया, and it kicked off. And I partnered with one of my friend. There we started initially. Later I just have to move out for my own reasons. Till then I had friends. He used to get walk-ins there quite a bit. So that's where core to core as a project which really materialized end to end is in-house first.
In-house.
Okay, and that gives you a lot of confidence that somebody who comes admires what exactly you have done, what it is. And the projects as such come in a custom form. They come with some requirement, and they go with a different product.
Oh, that's great.
That's how it is, because you see the requirements, unless you reiterate and ask things, so they will come for a pin, but they need something else actually.
Yeah.
So the projects are mostly by reference, friends, family, and nowadays it's all random. You never know. The guy gets to see somebody doing something, and he will ask for something. And there is a niche market for the custom products, but one should have eye in terms of what you want to really take it as an opportunity or not. In general, it is either the household articles. Household articles, which general furnitures.
Yeah.
So cots mostly,
Okay.
tables,
Oh, that's good.
study tables,
Okay.
then chairs, dining tables, and I don't know, somehow I get lot of antiques to be restored.
Oh,
Somehow I have a plus of that you get to learn a lot out of that. Let us say कि आप ये बोल रहे हो community see especially you want to start something, you need a network. And network. Okay, network is very very key. Then comes your communication and the way you handle your logistics and all that, but best is you need your resources. Okay, so network and resource can only come from your near dear friends. Okay, and no shame in asking and learning. So community really helps. Criticism makes you better, and we cannot just get away from that, because you never know, you might be doing the same thing again and again, bad, good, you never know, unless somebody really criticizes and says he may feel it right, not right, and you will get to know many things about it. And true friends as a community will really make you better, and that's a good support. I have great friends who are just open and really make you understand, and we need to lend to the one who is really seeing you what it is. So not just that, and you will get help, you will definitely get help, which is immense. Be it a simple thing, you're stuck somewhere and someone comes back and says, I did this way, and you did something, you share it openly, so that helps someone else, right? So somebody gets inspired about it, Okay, somebody may say it's been done, but still one or the other guy will get help. So as a community, I really feel I am lucky, and the one group that we are in, that really helped me quite a bit, very much, and I have gathered more friends, okay, and who are who think alike or on the same page, and we do meet, we do share ideas, and I am a little poor on the commercial side of it, so I get to learn a lot about it, because how people really are transforming from one thing to other. So that really keeps you motivated, that there is a hope if you are stuck somewhere. So okay, I would say being part of it itself is I like most. Oh, okay.
That's a very diplomatic answer. Sateesh.
It's not diplomatic, but you see, not everyone gets to do things as as such. That's the true reason I told that. But see, it's mostly the shaping part of the woodwork. See, we have the preparation, planning, design, shaping, cutting, shaping, and then comes your fitting and finishing. Correct. So fitting is something I feel very tough. Sometimes it makes you, drives you nuts. Well, that's a part of work, and it's mostly shaping, because that's the core. Wherein see, the shapes are a part of either by design, or the shapes bring some other design. Okay, that's immensely pleasurable in the way you work, be it your spoke shave, chisel, you make a hole out of something and start working with it. You never know, the profiling, shaping, and something you really perceive that comes to the two picture of it there. See, what happens is a simple pencil sketch helps you perceive things in a 3 dimension. So that gives you a very good picture. That's one way of looking at it. The other way is that you have some material already and you fit it. Still, sometimes you are missing something, you still go back and sketch it. It may not be a real sketch, it may be something graphically you are envisaging in your mind. That's finally what it is. But if you want to show somebody, so this is going to be like that, like for a part you want to delegate to somebody, or for a part you want to show the customer, then you need either a drawing, rendering, whatever that newer technology is. So that's where it is. So drawing is something, drawing and sketches are something that is part of me, and it's the extension what I do.
Sure. Which is your favorite tool?
I would say there are many. There are many, and I don't say one specific thing, but chisels are something that always are my favorite. And in the way why I say that thing, you don't have even a plane, you still can make a chisel to work out part. And with respect to power tool, I would say angle grinder. Hand tool mein to chisels are very this thing, you go for carving or anything, and there is no sharp thing than that of a corner of a chisel. If you want to pay, see, if you want to learn some skill in woodworking, I would say hand paring is one thing which is very essential. Learn that, so that we can really do things, fine tune things, and even you can do a lot of things, including your mortise being corrected, your tenons being corrected, shoulders being corrected. Okay, this is what we pray in. This is Devar Mule, what we call it as. So that's our deity. And I usually keep most of my outside cuttings here, small, medium and stuff, whatever I want to process. Okay, and I have a shield for the other shop so that no dust, no fight. Okay, my daily cleaning stuff which I do inside and outside cleanup, and my stock which I can pull out quickly as I want and start working. Most of my board up to 10 to 15 boards I stack here as and when I need. Otherwise I have a small godown on the other side wherein I keep most of my stuff in terms of raw wood, sized wood. Okay, I pull them out and start working. This is very small stack right now here, and my work hours, this is my bench grinder, actually courtesy by Irshad Bhai. So this has changed quite a bit for me. So if I used to sharpen something in an hour, it happens in less than 15 minutes now. So this is my chop saw. It's a basic one though, but it does a lot of things, and it almost cuts 4 inches by flipping. It's good enough, and this way also about almost 6+ inches. So that's good enough.
Yeah.
This is my bandsaw. I bought it recently, and it's a used one, but I had to do a little work on this, and I do have a homemade guard to it actually, which I removed because I wanted to set the blade and all. Small blades I have to go a bit slow. With the bigger blades you can rip any timber of about 10 inches, and not allowed though legally, and I do avoid that. I have my popcorn maker and stuff. And I do keep a lot of bolts for my work. They all go into a box so that as and when I need bolts, I don't have to rush for.
Yeah.
So I just keep it hidden.
Hidden
My
from the world.
hidden treasure.
Treasure.
Okay, some tools that I keep here which are important, my SDS, trimmer, this one, and my professional jigsaw,
Okay.
Bosch one, the Dongcheng one. And I have 4 of these, my beautiful work brushes. So they all work so well. Right. It's a simple mechanism. Okay, I can do bore up to about 3 to 4 inch size, but longer bits do wag much, but up to 2 inches it works fine. Okay, and if you want I can demonstrate. And some of my other tools are just I am trying to find the sander belts to my hand sander, or make one, which is not easy at this point. That's it. And I have my other tools I will show later in terms of lathe and other tools I make my own. These are all JK files, so a bit hard to really hone it to the level I want, but I have to live with it. And my first aid box, I keep it here so that it is less dusty here and easily reachable, and little fire protection, so called. And this is a mallet to break. I'm just kidding. And there are some tools here, mostly hand tools. I just don't use them much often, but they are much needed. Over times I know where I use them. So I just keep them away so that anyone walks here doesn't get hurt. Some pulleys I bought for my things. They are all lying there with screws, stuff, and my miscellaneous and electrical parts, stuff like that. And my mandir, the deity that we pray in every day. And some old wooden planes. They work like charm. I love them. So and there are some more trays here which has got a lot of hardware, like daily bed sockets and all that I keep organized so that I can reach. For example, this is a screw set, and I have a little space over there. I am just using my paper so that they are away from dust, and still I can optimize space. And I use mostly 3/4 inch till 3.5 inch worth of screws, and I know what box they are in. They are the most used stuff. and hinges and small materials, tapes, and some leather work stuff. Some more screws here which I couldn't accommodate, and CA glue. I know these are the trays I reach out for my stuff. Okay, some chalks, some saw, which is a freehand cutting saw, some other clamps which I just keep here, and there is one bit which is important, which we make alemane and all. I keep some important stuff, away, so that they. This is the one which cuts. There is a game called alemane. Here, they make 7 grooves. The one side, 7 grooves, and the other side.
Okay.
And my leather stock, stuff like that, and even electrical parts. This is my desktop and my laptop. They are out here, which I can use and even show most of the designs and other stuff to the people. My sharpening kit is here. I keep it here, but it's out there.
Okay.
So usually it holds it so that it's less dusty. Once I clean it, I can keep it back. Though it gets dusty when I work with it, but I want to avoid other dust. Like I do work with metal, right? Sometimes that gets too much. So this is my die cutter and my high grit papers I keep along with my sharpening stuff. See, these are my chisels. I keep them, some of them sharp, because I use them for on the wider stock. There is a brand by name Fish. Okay, this is the most common chisel that our local people use. These are modest chisels. They just work chum. This is the new stuff, but this is there in the market for a very long time. New one we can hone and make sharpen this and start using it. So it's a good time that we can do with this. So this is what one thing, and I do a bit of welding for my work. For example, you take these things. This is the lathe, right? This lathe and these guards, everything were welded and made by me, so that I can start working with it. This is a machinist lathe. This has got a 3-piece, 4-speed setting, 1 HP motor. So this engages once, this comes with a bed, 4-feet bed, and it was discarded. So I just gathered the stuff and did that. And most of my hammer sets, different sets, still have to work with it. My marking gauge, mallets, a small fitting mallet. Some are made by me, some are essential tools. Okay, I just have to still work on that. These are my turning stuff, scraper for turning, some homemade gauges. This we can see when we are doing the lathe. This is a parting tool. Parting tool is a very important tool in this one, and I have some heavy chisels that I use for my lathe work. Some box planes, all rosewood made stuff. It took a while for me to really bring them back to life, but still they are with me. It's something I made from beechwood offcut. So this is something that I use often for most chamfering work and all the, even to extent of smoothing. This works very well for smoothing. And this small box is something I made because most of my go-to chisels are here. Okay, the one which I often use is this 1.5-inch chisel. Okay, and I keep 2 of them ready, so that I don't go out of knife when I need them. Okay, and these are movable shelves, and these things I want to get away, and I want to relocate, so that so this is my router table. Okay, and as of now it is manual lift, that I am using a lever rod, so that I can quickly adjust it and use it. And it has a fence, and I do buy some of the offcuts. I keep it so that as and when I need, sometimes I can use them. This is my drill press. Okay, so I have this combi machine. This has got about a 10-inch capacity and surfacer. and thickness planer, cutter block, and this has got a beading attachment. Most of our profile beadings are made out of this. I removed the attachment so that I can save a little space here and move it back. But education is a ticket in a way. You need that. It is going to open a lot of knowledge about know-how. But experience is something, right? Experience is by apprenticeship. It's more closer. Okay. Now you can evolve it further. God has given us such an imagination, such a wise mind. So which we have to work out, right? So in mentorship there are two kind I have seen. One is very restricted because they don't want to get away from anything. But there are some mentors who want the person to explore, and they let the guy person to express. That's a true mentorship. Okay. So I would say I always prefer mentorship over so-called education. And education is very much important because that's a key enabler. But, let us say you want to document, you want to really know how of things out of something. You need to have a common platform, right? Education enables you to set onto a common platform. The rest is specialization. If we have specialization, we can keep doing forever, right? So right now, I would just say the platform or the context has changed in current generation, both resource wise as well as the need and the way we have to get the things work done. Okay. Commercial setup definitely need power tools, especially when it comes to heavy milling, cutting, any prep work. That's what we call it as sizing. Okay. And even certainly go back to yesteryears, we have all these, we had all the beading planes, profile planes, and you can magically do anything almost out there, correct? But is it really worth it in today's context? The increasing demand and the speed demands something else. So and also the quality of work. So I don't say hand tools cannot give that, but rather it takes so much of time, wherein a little bit of speed is anticipated in the commercial business, wherein it makes sense to make those profiles out of either a spindle molder, router, and even getting heavy logs to the sizing or heavy stock to the sizing. That saves a lot of effort there. Okay. Now coming to the giving final touch and the real details to it, I don't think any of the machine is built so that it can give you those curvatures, those profiles, or those finest details that a human can really provide. As we are growing in this generation, the actual physical power that each one bears is going down, and tools have become essential. So we have to use mix and match of things now. Still, hand tools, no getting away from that. A person who is a student excels, always brings fame to the teacher, is what is said. As long if we go a little ahead and use our imagination and whatever the sense they have put in us, which all our mentors did so far, helps a lot. So try and see if we can, you know, really question some of those authorities, but be humble. It's not that, you know, we argue on everything that we need to question the authority. So that helps you learn more better, because knowledge is sublime of all, and that's the true power. And be disciplined in terms of, you know, not to lose your time. That's what is more important. Every other resource you can bring back, not the time. So I wish all the success. And you know, there is something that we always say, there is some power which is you know, double. We can see, we can hear, we can listen, right? But those are all our strength. So that's how we learn each and everything that we see. But when we speak, we stop reciprocating, or, you know, we stop, you know, taking those information within us. So it's best that, you know, we gather everything and, you know, process it and use the power and curb the weaknesses, so that we can do better in our, you know, future endeavors. So learning is a never stopping endeavor. It's a long lasting one. So I wish all the best for our future generation, and I have great hopes with them.
ಅಂಗಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಆಂಟಿಗೆ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಹತ್ರ ಏನಾದ್ರು ತೊಗೊಂಡು ಬರ್ತೀನಿ.
ಬೇಡ, ಈಗ ನೀನು ಮನೆಗೆ ಅವ್ರು ಊಟಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವ್ರ ಮಧ್ಯೆ ಇನ್ನೇನು ತಿನ್ನಲ್ಲ. ನಿನ್ ಥರ ದಡ್ರ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಅವ್ರೇನೋ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳಕ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾನು ಉತ್ತರ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಸಿಟ್ ಡೌನ್.
Say hi in the camera.
ಸೇ ಹಲೋ ಹಲೋ ಹೇಳು.